We're now in Florida, Miami to be specific. Our friends and I took a trip down to see the air show, and we went to the harbor there, and here's a Pan Am flying boat ready to take off for overseas flights. I don't know if at that time it had started trips to Europe or not. 1930, let me see. What did I say? 40 perhaps. No, it would have to be earlier than that, 38 or 39. You had to be very rich to fly on one of those things. We stopped at the next day or so on traveling north. We stopped at one of these houses that charge tourists $1 a night, and the only thing they had for breakfast was chicken, and they grew their own. So here we go north, traveling north on the Florida highway. If you call it a highway. Far more interesting than driving on today's great big turnpikes and so on. This is Spanish moss that I thought was so fascinating. Silver Springs. I took a lot of film there of no particular interest. They took you around in a glass-bottom boat and showed you the fish swimming underneath. The marvelous thing was how clear the water was, of course. And while your car was parked there, they would put a bumper sticker on your car without asking you, and it would say, "I visited Silver Springs." The first bumper stickers that I ever saw. Previous to that, the bumpers were left pristine. Now we're traveling north again under the Spanish moss. I can't identify this. Can't give you the identity of that pig. But it's just a glimpse of what travel was in Florida in those days. This is 1941. Two friends and I took a tour out to California. And of course there were very few of those great big highways and so on. So we had to go through towns, which makes it, of course, much more interesting. I have a few shots of touring in West Virginia. This, I think, is Crosset, C-R-O-S-S-E-T, West Virginia. We we stopped at Bristol, Tennessee. Oh, the motel, which I think cost us about $2 a night. This will give you an idea of what it was like to tour across to California about, 50-some years ago. You'll probably be able to read that sign if the movie itself is properly transcribed. There are my two friends. This doesn't show the river, but we'll see it a little later. Here's the Mississippi. We don't get much of a view of it. I think that was the Mississippi. Or maybe we're not there yet. Oh yes, next morning we crossed the muddy Mississippi, and if you'll stop the film back a little, you'll see what town we're in. I didn't take note. Too bad I don't have the number of this highway. I never thought to note it down in a notebook. Oh, here's Fort Smith, Arkansas. Later on we'll have some color film, and I don't think that the color has stood up well, because it seems to me maybe my TV isn't doing well. It seems to me to be way too red. Everything is. So here's a color film. Cost a lot more in those days than black and white. Later on, of course, you couldn't even buy black and white. In those days, I believe that a color film would cost maybe $3 as opposed to $1.50 for a black and white. I'm now talking about 4-minute films. We got a few genuine Indians. And what was that, Gallup? No, Santa Fe. Well, they look deep purple to me. Continental Divide. Gallup, New Mexico, would say. I should have taken more of that. It was a real frontier town. This is about all I have of it. Unfortunately, 8mm cameras were never designed to show scenery. They do a nice job, however, if used properly. Of course, scenes like this were fascinating to me as an Easterner. First time I'd ever been this far west.